Hi, kings and queens, and welcome back to Real Talk No Shade with your host, Heavenly Angel. This is the podcast where we tell the truth and nothing but the whole truth. And I want to talk about disappointment for a real quick second. So let's get into it. So lately, I've been dealing with a lot of disappointment. Honestly, these past few weeks have just been straight up down bad atrocious. But I want to talk about disappointment because all the disappointment I have been going through lately, I've been taking it very personally, straight to heart. Because honestly, all my disappointment has been put on to one thing, and it's standards and expectations. I set a standard for a person or an object or a situation to go, and it just is never met. It's not reached. People let me down. The object doesn't go as planned. And it's just like this constant disappointment is just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you just take it. The first time it's like, okay, I'm sad, but okay. Next time you're like, okay. And then the third time, just like, all right, the fourth time, and then you're at the seventh disappointment. You're just like, what is going on? So I really want to talk about disappointment because a lot of us get hit back to back with a lot of situations, and it just starts to tackle you. And that's a true situation, especially with what I've been noticing and going through. I'm just like, you can only take so much at once. And I really want to talk about disappointment because no one really talk about how it truly affects your life. People can say I'm a disappointment. People can say that life is a disappointment, but the truth is it's how things go, and that's what disappoints you. You didn't reach a certain standard. You didn't reach a requirement that just didn't happen, and that sucks, and it's a disappointment. So I have a few quotes and a few things I want to talk about, and basically it goes, I feel like disappointment is so easy to take place in our hearts because we create our own heartbreak through our expectations. And that's what I feel like is true. And then truthfully, we assume how things will go or how things will happen. And that is what caused the root. That's truly the root of disappointment because you're assuming what's going to happen. You're assuming that these people will do for you as you do for them. And that's not the truth. You're assuming that they have the same heart as you do when no one is as caring or as giving as you are. And like the very last quote I'm gonna say is like something that I want to, I'm gonna just save it till I get there. But like, it's true because when you're a caring person, when you're a good person, a lot of people can take advantage of you. And I know this has nothing to do with disappointment, but that is a form of disappointment. You're such a nice person. You have a caring heart, or people say they will do something and they just don't do it. And you have these expectations. You have this assumption that they will be there when the truth is they just won't be there. They're not going to do for you as you did for them. And people can say, don't go blaming people for not reading your expectations. Blame yourself for setting your expectations too high for them. And that's stupid. I say, if you're gonna say that you're gonna, be here at 7 o'clock, depending on what the situation is, be here at 7 o'clock. That's not an expectation. That's a reality, and you failed me. That's just a simple example, but it's a deep one because that can happen to anyone. They can say something and they don't do it, and that can cause disappointment. That's a letdown on your behalf, on my behalf, and that affects me as a person. Or then you have these other type of disappointments where, like I said before, I assume that you would do for me as I did for you. I'm a nice person in general, so I can relate to this quote. I freaking give to people all the time. I give advice. I give, food. I share a lot of food. I spend a lot of money on people. That was my freaking finger cracking. But like, yeah, I share a lot of people. I share with a lot of people. So when people don't give that basic thing that you would do for them and they don't do that for you, that's a letdown. And you have to build these certain walls up again. You have to be like, okay, I'm not going to get this used again. I'm not going to be disappointed again. And that's sad that we have to do that, but that is a form of disappointment. And like, after getting disappointed so many times, you start to lose hope in just everything because you're taking that L back to back. You're taking so many loses, so many loss. And you're just like, okay, here's another thing. Here's another thing. And I want to say for all those people who have a heart full of gratitude, and I want to say this because the last very quote that I want to take with the end of this episode is disappointment has no place in a heart full of gratitude. And I want to say that because it's true. Us nice people who get disappointed, us people that just don't deserve that type of treatment, depending on even what, no matter, honestly, it doesn't even matter what the situation is. Let's just say people who just have a good heart in general are let down. People who have normal hearts in general can be let down. And honestly, don't let that disappointment stay in your heart because people don't understand how important it is to be nice. A lot of people have said, no, one person has said this to me, and I really had to think about this. And he said, being nice is overrated. Well, that's what he said to me. Now, my idea about that opinion is just not it because us nice people, it's gonna make the world change. Us nice people are going to be able to make the world a better place. It's not even good, but we can make it better, you know? And honestly, I feel like if everyone was nice, if everyone had the same heart as if you do for me, I'll do for you. If we all had that heart, the world and community that we live in would be better. Let's just be honest. But you have to think about it. A lot of people have that if that being nice mentality is overrated. So I want to say all those people that's taking disappointment, that's not happy with what's going on, that's taking L after L and just is considering themselves a disappointment. You are not a disappointment. Life is not disappointing. Don't even let that disappointment stay in your heart. Don't let it stop you from doing what you got to do, which is be a nice person and live your life. Because at the end of the day, it is your life. So take that disappointment and use it as a lesson to heal. All that dirt that has been thrown at you needs to be fertilizer that is going to help you grow in the future. Like my plant over there, use that dirt as fertilizer and grow because we don't deserve to be treated like dirt and we don't deserve to be stuck in the mud. Take that and use it to grow. All that disappointment that has happened to you in your last week, in the month before, in years beyond, literally use it to grow. Don't let the constant disappointment, the constant letdown deter you or just turn you away from the person you were meant to be. Use it to be even nicer and even greater, but also learn how to handle people that can disappoint you. And that's why I'm going with the expectations. Don't expect too much from people because that will let you down. But at the same time, expect things from people, because if they can actually reach them expectations, there you go. You have a new person that can reach them expectations. Don't just give up because so many people fall into one category. You can't, group people based upon how they normally act. You just gotta keep that open mind and keep that, that open mind. Keep that childlike nature. Like I said, we're all children at heart. Keep that childlike nature, but don't be naive at the same time. Use it to grow and use it as a lesson because not everyone is the same. Not everyone is going to disappoint you. Is not everyone going to use you and not everyone going to lie. You just have to know that this little disappointment is not long lasting and disappointment does not last long in a heart full of gratitude. This is Real Talk No Shade. Follow me on my Instagram at freaking Q Studio Prod and listen to my podcast Real Talk No Shade where I posted this way earlier on, but surgery. I'm still recording this within the same week. So make sure you stay tuned. And if I don't record next week, please bear with me because I am still sick. I'm feeling better today, but who knows how I'm going to be feeling next week after my surgery. So stay with me and, like and comment, leave a heart because every little thing helps this community grow, and that's what's important. Spreading awareness to mental health and also just talking about things that need to be talked about because you're not alone. This is Real Talk No Shade, and we have been honest. And also listen to my podcast. I just spit it all over the way, all over the place. Just listen